further into the fight, and then he does that.
Wow, I mean, clattered him with that one, has Pavlovich, and we can see why. The man gets his hands going very nice. Conquest. Oh! He detonates that right hand onto the chin of Abduraimov. How is Abduraimov still there?
That's it.
In just 3 years, Sergei Pavlovich has made a tremendous impact on the Russian heavyweight scene, amassing an impressive record of 13 first-round knockouts in his 17 appearances. He quickly rose through the ranks, capturing a local championship belt and setting his sights on conquering the UFC. With consecutive finishes in his fights, Pavlovich has proven his skill and potential, positioning himself just a couple of victories away from a title shot. It's time to examine the evolution of this promising prospect's career and discover why he possesses enough power to potentially become the next UFC champion. But before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss an upload. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches, Pavlovich was born in 1992 in Orlovsky Rostov Oblast, a small village in Russia. Before making his way to the UFC, Pavlovich started his journey at the age of 5 when he first took up wrestling. He would compete during high school, but shortly after graduation would show interest in sambo and military hand-to-hand combat. These early interests in martial arts would propel Sergei into mixed martial arts. He would make one of his most prominent fights in 2018 at UFC Fight Night 14. Pavlovich made his highly anticipated UFC debut against one of the most accomplished heavyweights in the sport, Alistair Overeem. At the time, Overeem didn't even know who Pavlovich was, saying he had to look him up and everything to see what he was all about. But going into the fight, Pavlovich was deemed in favor of winning. First round. For the first couple of minutes, both fighters were feeling each other out, testing guard and reaction time. Halfway through the round, Overeem manages to get Pavlovich into a clinch, utilizing knees while Pavlovich is trying to gain control. After breaking off, Overeem was able to sweep Pavlovich, knocking him to the ground. Pavlovich now onto the ground, Overeem is in control and able to throw a flurry of hard punches. Eventually, the referee had to step in and stop the fight. Overeem won through technical knockout victory. Although Pavlovich suffered his first loss in the bout, it showcased his ability to compete at the highest level and displayed his resilience and potential during the fight. Not only that, but it was the last time he lost a fight to date. Pavlovich in his coming fights, such as in the 2019 match against Michael Gome, Pavlovich would win in the first round via knockout. In the bout between the two fighters, no touch gloves. Pavlovich lands a left with a straight right, then Gome with his own straight right. Pavlovich now with a jab, lands a left hook followed by a right hook. Pavlovich manages to bully Gome to go up against the fence, landing several uppercuts. Eventually Gome can no longer withstand the punches and hits the ground, giving Pavlovich the win. Then, in 2022, Pavlovich would go up against Gome and Tuivasa. Round 1, Pavlovich tries to take control of the center, utilizing jabs and lifts his leg to avoid a low kick. Moving forward, he managed to catch Tuivasa with a few punches, but was hit back with a left hook. Pavlovich would blast Tuivasa with a flurry of ferocious punches, tearing Tuivasa's skin open in the process. At one point, Tuivasa would hit the ground but come back up while blood pours from the side of his eye. He swings a left hand at Pavlovich, but Pavlovich manages to tag him twice and drills an uppercut that knocks Tuivasa off his feet. On the ground, Pavlovich then proceeds to throw a few hard punches that would get interrupted by the referee, giving Pavlovich the win. In 2023, Pavlovich would have his biggest fight yet, up against Curtis Blaydes. Competing in the heavyweight division, this fight would be the main event. Blaydes was on a 3-match win streak, and if he were to win this match, he'd be closer to getting a title shot. Round 1, both fighters touch gloves. Blaydes distanced himself with a jab, shortly followed by a low leg kick. Pavlovich fires a right hand, knocking Blaydes off balance. For a little while, both fighters try to trade blows, looking for openings to close the distance in order to fire a combo. Blaydes manages to land a few shots, which prompts Pavlovich to start brawling, but Blaydes was able to distance himself. After a few hooks from Pavlovich, Blaydes is now up against the fence, giving Pavlovich control of the center. Blaydes is then knocked off balance from Pavlovich's right. Both fighters shortly begin to brawl it out after Blaydes tries to take Pavlovich to the ground. Luckily, he was able to deny Blaydes and then proceeds to duke it out, trading multiple blows. With 2 minutes left in the round, Pavlovich managed to close the distance and bombard Blaydes with multiple hooks and uppercuts, knocking him to the ground where Pavlovich would then proceed to throw a flurry of punches to the head, prompting the referee to stop the fight. This would give Pavlovich his most recent win. The victory was decided through technical knockout. Despite this being a major blow to Blaydes' career, Luckily, there isn't any animosity or bad blood between the two fighters, as they are shown giving respect to one another after the match. In the end, the Russian isn't going anywhere. In the post-game interview, he was even talking about taking the heavyweight title for himself from Jon Jones, which was also followed by a couple of jokes and comments about getting bonuses from the fight. Pavlovich may have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with Jon Jones, who's arguably the most prominent figure in the heavyweight division of the UFC. What do you think? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss an upload. Let's see if this fight between Pavlovich and Jon Jones will ever come to fruition and be an outstanding fight.